So you had sex with your sugar daddy?
Yeah, I did.
Did you have more than one sugar daddy?
I think over the course of the time that I had multiple men that were like, you know, they were never long term. The men that I would be speaking to.
You had something?
Yeah. So being as somebody that actually works in the sex industry, I'm an adult performer. I've been doing it since I was 18. I've been doing OnlyFans. If I had a sugar daddy, I don't think that's sex work, quite honestly. Like
But it is.
You're having sex and you're getting paid willingly. That's the arrangement.
Called sex work.
That's the arrangement. But that doesn't mean that you are selling yourself openly and freely. I don't know. Maybe I'm just assuming. But I don't think qualifying it and quantifying it as this is exactly sex work doesn't really check.
How is that? That's the very definition. You're getting paid to have sex with men.
What I'm saying is it's an arrangement.
How is that not
I'm saying it's
sex work?
What you're describing it as is an arrangement between you and someone with whom you met online, such as a dating app, and you're stating that I hung out with them. I presume that I was just going to get everything taken care of. In addition to that, I was paid for having sex. Yes, that's technically a job.
Yeah, that's called sex work.
What I'm stating...
Yeah, I don't see a way around that.
Okay, then fine.
Thank you, Andrew, finally, fucking Christ.
But, like, you're stating it as though it was, like, your full occupation. Like, that's where I'm just so confused. Like...
Wasn't ever my full occupation. You know what? Well, no, I'll let you finish. I don't want to interrupt.
As somebody that actually performs sex work, and, like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
actually perform?
Like, somebody who's actively in it. So you removed yourself from it. You're in
I have.
Right
so
now.
that does not reduce the time that I was in it.
She's in it now.
So what I'm saying is somebody who's currently and actively in sex work. What I'm asking is, how do you quantify that so differently from what I separately do, or just generally? Because right now you're just generalizing. I did sex work because I got paid to have sex with some random guy. Okay, so what more of it? Like, you're trying to say, oh, like, I want to help other people understand sex work. There's multiple meanings to it. I completely agree. I don't think sex work is fit for anybody. But I just find it really eluding and weird that you're just stating, oh, it's just a bad thing and I did this. Like, get to the fucking point about it.
That's exactly the fucking point about it. Is that it's sex work and it's bad and it's horrible and it's soul crushing for women, and anything that you hear is I'm sorry, it's just not true. I want to ask every woman that is engaged in active sex work, do they know their father? And are they close with their father? And do they have a good relationship with their father? No. I want to ask this because you know what? I was a woman.
Not to cut you off, sorry. I do have an active relationship with my father. My father
Is it a good one?
Yeah, actually. I grew up really well with my father. I actually, unfortunately, was introduced to that style of content prior as a young child because of certain circumstances as a child. But regardless, my father actually really supports me. Ironically, my mother did not support me for the longest time. I'm a Mexican and I'm a white. I'm half and half. My mom is very Mexican Catholic, and for that reason, she doesn't support it. But regardless, my father has always supported me. He supported me from the moment I started working with Penthouse, when I first did my very first magazine with them, the moment that I did a shoot with Hustler. He was very ecstatic, not because he was interested in it, not because he was sexualizing himself.
Okay, that's really weird, though. That's really weird that your father's excited that you were in Hustler. That's a very weird thing to be excited for. I'm not antagonizing. I'm just asking. I'm just like, that's a very weird thing. My daughter's in Hustler.
We're not supposed to talk about certain conversations, which is fine. But as a younger girl, what I was always expressed to growing up from my father's side, because I have separated parents, was
naturally
that the natural human body, woman and man, is very beautiful, and that is something that I still stand with.
Wait, why would you say naturally to her parents being separated?
Because I'm Mexican white, or what are you presuming? Because
no, definitely not Mexican and white, but that's funny that went that way. No, because you're in sex work. So usually it's probably not a two-party household you grew up with.
I actually know a lot of different actresses in the sex community who have their parents together.
They have a mom and dad. That is their biological mom and dad.
Do you know the statistics
that are married
of it?
together? I've read and I've seen and I've witnessed and I know many people.
I'm just like, you have no statistics of it. You're just using background knowledge and assumption.
Yeah, I am.
Yes, my parents are separated. My parents are separated because they literally just could not fucking handle each other. That's all it really was. They were never even in a married relationship. Regardless, if that's your presumption of that every single sex worker comes from a separated family, then so fucking be it. But it doesn't seem to say that regardless that you have any reason to bicker at and fight at that, oh, she has a terrible relationship with her father. I'm clearly a fucking person out here saying, no, I have a great relationship with my father.
Yeah, your dad
He's
loved you in Hustler.
What the fuck is your problem? Because clearly what I'm stating
Nothing.
is the back essence of why he supported me, why that was being supported by my father, not my mother. My father taught me from a very fucking young age that, hey, all women bodies are beautiful. Why? Because my grandmother herself also always taught him that. She was a single mother. It came down from the realms of, she was always teaching him one knowledge and he taught himself to me. At the end of the day, obviously, no parent wants their child in sex work. No parent.
Well, it
I
sounds like
understand.
your father did.
He was just supporting her
He
because
was
she's a
supporting
grown
her.
up,
'Cause
and
I'm
she
a
saw
adult.
she was in a thing and said,
Thank you.
"That's what she's doing. She's a grown up," and I support it. Not, she said it wasn't sexual,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he wasn't interested in it. He was just encouraging her because it's his daughter.
Oh, that's
who's a
good.
Yeah,
person.
yeah, but dude, that's weird. Would you encourage your daughter to do that?
No, but if I didn't have any say in it, I'd kind of like to keep a relationship with them as tumultuous as it might be.
Exactly.
Would
Or
you
if
be
that's
proud of
problematic.
your
Why would you
daughter
wanna
being in
keep
Hustler?
wouldn't it be better to let them feel the sting of it and kind of separate yourself?
I'm not
from-
dad. I like to think of the dad that I would be, where I would go, all right, because like my sisters date guys I don't like, and that's been my whole life. And my rule on it, and you can disagree because I'm not a dad, so I can't speak to this too well, but I always go, that's who she's with. Well, I'm just gonna bear with this, and I speak my
Yeah,
opinion.
but there's a distinction there, right? So if you say,
Right.
well, I can't control who my daughter goes out with and
Right.
dates and things like that, versus my daughter's going on to Hustler. Don't you think there's a huge?
He didn't hang the
distinction
poster in
between-
his living room.
No, and
he
he
just
might
kept
as
a
well.
relationship with her. I think she was defending the relationship with her dad because she was said, well, naturally, you must have a terrible relationship with your dad to do these sort of things.
No, I said naturally they're separated and they are.
But you started it by saying, I'd like to ask every girl that does sex
Yeah.
work,
Which-
Yes,
do
and
you
I
know
do.
your dad? And you said it in a very strange way. She was
Yeah,
saying, yeah,
and
well,
what's
I
your
know my
relationship
dad.
with your father,
And
and then
Well, that's
you
because
were
the stats bear out that many sex workers,
don't know
in
what
fact,
the
the majority of them, do come from broken households.
They do.
And if you're a single mom, you're far more likely to be a sex worker. In fact,
You are.
So these are things which are brought up. I don't think out of hand. Right?
I don't think so
they're
either.
not.
No, all
She's
I,
explaining it. That's
Thank
all.
you.
Now,
I think
now
all I'm
they're
stating-
on our side, Andrew. Keep going.
Okay, all I'm stating is obviously, yes, my father did support me in the sense, just as he stated, because he wanted a relationship with me. The reason I actually am so grateful and beyond blessed that I even have a support from my father is because I immediately left the house with my mom. I was living out there and she was already upset with me over certain other circumstances. For that reason, I left and I decided this is the way and the means that I'm going to arrive to adulthood. I'm going to partake in this, not something that I even agreed with. I grew up in a full Catholic household with my mother. Nonetheless, I never had a relationship with my father as a child at one point.
Well, there
Not
you go,
ne-
bingo.
not never is an exception. Okay.
Literally what I was saying,
No.
but yeah.
The reason I didn't
Don't
have
you
a-
think it's a bit rude
I
to
think it's very rude and
laugh at somebody
the-
who just said
The
what
reason
she
I did
said?
not have
Yeah,
a relationship,
literally.
the
Yeah,
reason I
probably.
did not have a relationship with my father during high school was because my father was
not
diagnosed
something
with
you
a brain
laugh.
tumor. He was not.
he was what I'm
He
saying.
was diagnosed with a brain tumor. I was not able to fucking see him because he was literally in the hospital all fucking day, all fucking time. So that's actually one of the reasons I was not able to see my father.
During your childhood?
I said no. I said childhood. I said high school. I correct myself.
Okay,
and I said
okay.
high school.
That is childhood. To be.
It is.
Okay,
But
okay.
regardless, to be laughing and trying to poke at the bear and saying,
Never.
"Oh, this is the norm," it's not. My circumstance was not the norm. My father was diagnosed with a fucking brain tumor. That's not normal. It shouldn't be normalized.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
sad. It's
yeah.
heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's also hard to to try to diagnose her like you're doing. So it's like
Not at all.
Well, in a way you are.
No.
Verbally you are, and socially you are. It's
No.
just and also to go well, yeah, statistically, statistically, lots of people aren't with two-parent homes. So you
lot
can't
of
just
people
go,
don't have
we
stable
found the
homes.
reason. You said bingo when she said that she didn't have
Yes.
that's you can't go
Why not?
Having two parents doesn't magically make you have a great life.
Statistically, it does.
But
No,
as
it really
in a lot of
doesn't
ways
at
you
all.
could.
Statistically,
I'm
it
just saying
does.
you can't just say it like
Because
as-
you have
as
two-
blanketly as you're
Statistically,
doing
it
It's
does.
crazy.
No, statistically is wrong because if you have two parents in a household does not mean it's healthy at all.
At all.
Well,
Like,
it's
there's
more
a
likely
lot-
to be, yes.
In a lot of ways.
Exactly.
It's
Thank
more
you.
likely that
Oh,
if
but
you
now
come
it's
from
a
an
lot
intact
of ways.
two-parent
So when a guy's,
household,
when
your
Andrew
chances
says it,
of
it's not a lot of
criminology,
ways. Are
your
you
chance of
subscribed
sex
to
work,
NLE?
your chance of
Let
any
him
of these
talk.
things
Sorry, Andrew.
drastically decrease.
Sorry, Andrew. I didn't mean to cut you
I
off.
don't think we got any of what Andrew said.
Yeah, I'm
No,
sorry.
I
I
was just,
totally
I'm
cut you off.
sorry. I was just saying that she is right that if you come from a intact two-parent household, your chances of criminology, your chances of all of these things drastically reduce. And this includes your chances of being involved in sex work.
Well, then maybe explain it better. If you're upset that I'm agreeing with him, maybe you, instead of condescendingly going, bingo, doesn't have a dad, and not even looking at her in the eye when she's talking about brain tumors and things, it's you can understand why people have this reaction to the way you're speaking.
Right.
It's pretty
Rude.
pretty
It's a tone issue. It's really
immature is what it is.
Oh.
It is. It's not a nice way to talk about people.
Okay.
You don't know her.
No.
I don't have any positive opinions about sex work
her.
either, but I can still respect a person
I know of her.
in a
Wait,
room.
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
And I'm not asking this as a form of attack or insult, but purely out of curiosity and inquiry. And again, I'm not trying to ask this to be insulting or prying or whatever. Do you have any cluster B personality disorders?
Totally, probably, yeah.
Like BPD, borderline personality
Probably,
disorder?
yeah.
Bingo.
Bingo.
Well, what does that
Bingo.
mean, probably?
Bingo.
He's asking
have you been
specifically, like,
diagnosed?
have you been diagnosed? Have you
No,
been
not
diagnosed with
officially,
it?
no.
Not officially.
No.
Unofficially? How would you unofficially
I'm
diagnose?
diagnosing.
Do you take any?
She's diagnosed,
do you
but I
take,
can't diagnose her with this single family, causing her to be on OnlyFans.
Are you bipolar?
No, I'm not. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist.
Well, that's why we're thinking troll, because we're
I
trying to
really
figure
do
out
think
how to
troll.
talk
I
to
agree.
you. Or like,
I'm trying to. I don't know. I think I'm just engaging in conversation. You guys are trying to
You're
diagnose.
really not. You're just being rude to her
Yeah.
and everyone else.
I think it's like, regardless of like my job or whatever I do, whatever I'm doing now or not, I think it just shows your true personality and true intention is to actually troll, because whether or
There's
not
no
I'm saying
troll.
that I'm doing sex work or I'm a fucking construction worker or something, I just actively told you
wouldn't
guys
be.
and I confided in you guys and the internet that my father had a brain tumor. Instead of looking at me and actually showing me any sort
Human
of
compassion.
compassion or remorse for your words that you already had previously stated for whatever reason, you just said, sorry.
Bingo.
Bingo.
Like, that's rude as fuck.
That's bullshit. Like, I'm sorry, but who the fuck thinks like that? Other than a fucking troll.
Well, I don't know. Like, I can't see you guys, but some of the points that she made were valid points. I'm
Thank
gonna
you,
admit it. I
Andrew.
mean, she made some valid points.
Thank you, Andrew.
I think you can find statistics for those things. Yes, I agree with the statistics. The statistics.
The what?
I don't agree with the way she's conducting.
Exactly.
Talking to her like she's
So that's
a
all.
statistic
That's all I
is
was
weird.
commenting on.
Because
was
she
She's
is.
a person and she
She's
has her
really
own
not.
I think
Was-
life.
I completely agree, and I appreciate that so much, because at the end of the day, yes, statistics does pertain to the number of people and pertain to the percentages of all these things out of a fucking outcome. But at the end of the day, this isn't just a statistics game. We're not on polls right now. We're not on little fucking pie charts.
We're people.
You're actually looking at me as a human being. You're looking at me as a fucking soul. So why don't you continue on and treat me properly with some sort of remorse and respect, because I'm sharing the reasoning for either my circumstances or my family life or my reasons for doing a job or anything of that sort. I haven't laughed or mimicked at you.
I appreciate that.
You just continue being a cunt. That's practically what you are.
I feel like an apology is in order.
Not gonna get one from me.
That's fine.
I think in comedy sometimes people go like, "Oh, you're a comic. You must have things that are like, you must be real fucked up, right? You must have a crazy childhood to want to be a stand-up comic, you know." And then we go, like, yeah, because you can find it with anything, right?
Yeah.
And then you could like do that with bread truck drivers. You could be like, the bread truck drivers come from divorced homes. Well, those statistics
Likely
have
probably
weight.
are.
But to just try to go blanketly bingo, her parents are separated, so she must want to
Bingo.
masturbate
bingo,
for
bongo.
money. Doesn't make I don't think that's a bingo. Like I don't.
But it
not.
is. But it is.
You don't say
You're
something
really not
excited,
eating the way
like,
you think you
Not
are.
Quinn, I think
You're
you
really
need
not.
like a psych evaluation.
Here's my analysis.
Yeah.
She is sort of reveling in her own, I suppose, a reverence. You're incredibly coarse. You're incredibly abrasive,
And
perhaps intentionally. You haven't just been rude to me. It seems like you've been rude to some of the other guests. Again, it's not clear to me though if you're doing it to troll. Like, why now you're shaking now she's shaking her head.
No, I'm listening. To say this is me liking.
I thought that was you nodding in
dude, that's,
agreement.
Personality
One
disorder.
sec.
L sex work L dad W bipolar chick. The world doesn't owe you
Okay, maybe the chat is actually starting to. You're winning them over. Maybe. Wait.
She's winning me over. She's winning me over.
Andrew, I've been on your side since day one, Andrew.
Oh my.
Thank you.
Let's keep going.
I think it's for attention.
Davon Jackson, good to see you in the chat,
You have your tits out.
bud.
What do you mean for attention?